Hello, dear friends. It's Dr. Sarah. Welcome to another video. Today, I want to discuss how we can go from holiday grumbles to gratitude. And I want to share with you how essential oils can help us change our perspective and mind shift to this actual feeling of appreciation. So we're going to go into a little bit of the neurophysiology of essential oils and talk about how they impact our brain health and how they influence our brain function and processing. But we won't go too much into detail where it's going to be completely confusing. Trust me. I will dial it down. And then for those of you who want to get into more details, all the links to the studies, to the references, and to the resources will be in the link to the accompanying article to this video. So let's start. We are actually coming up on Thanksgiving in America. I'm recording this in November, and many people are looking forward to this little break in their daily routines where they can gather together with the ones they love, express their gratitude, and give thanks for the year previously, and even share about their hopes for the upcoming year. And of course, many are looking forward to a wonderful multi-course feast that they can enjoy and break bread together with those that they care about. But the holidays can also trigger a lot of people. Not everyone feels so warm and cozy about family togetherness. Some of the emotional upheaval that's in us and also around us can amplify around the holidays. In fact, many Americans are more stressed than ever with all that we're juggling up against with our own lives and then with global events. So what I've been trying to do is to give you tools on how to calm our nervous system down and help us regain emotional balance. And in the previous video, I talked about how essential oils can actually help shift our mindset so that we can recalibrate our emotions and better able to access these feelings of abundance and gratitude that is kind of hard to get to just by trying to think our way into it. We actually can use essential oils to change our physiology as well as our mind to shift our belief patterns. So in this video, what I want to do is actually review 4 of the ways essential oils can shift our mindset. And again, the link to the previous video will be in the video description in the article. I want to discuss and highlight again a little bit of how essential oils impact our mind, body, brain health, all of that connected. And then I want to go into some of the specific, not too minute details of the neurophysiology of how essential oils impact our brain and emotions. And then I'll go over some of my favorite essential oils to include in a blend of synergistic aromatic allies that can help us shift our mindset from grumbles to gratitude. So let's go ahead and get started on the 4 ways essential oils uplift our mindset. Now, first, we know that what we think about and what we believe actually affects our physical and emotional health. This is true in religious texts, and it's also true in science. So, this concept of mind-body medicine is reflected in peer-reviewed clinical trials, the gold standard of proving that an intervention actually works. In fact, positive expectations for a treatment actually coming out favorably are actually control variables in these clinical trials. And this is known as the placebo effect. So essential oils can help us with obtaining a more hopeful perspective because they can impact emotional healing. They can actually help rebalance our emotions. They can balance our stress and hormonal response patterns to calm down our nervous system so we can access this emotional clearing. They positively alter our brain functioning. And they can also enhance mind-heart coherence and support any other calming practices because we can form a memory-based aromatic association between what we're smelling. And when we smell that, while we're doing another practice, it actually associates that smell with calmness. So we can just smell that essential oil and it's going to actually calm us down because our brain associates that smell with calmness. If we look at how essential oils actually impact brain and mood, it's because they have these chemical and aromatic properties that influence our physiology, and this changes our cognition, our mood, and our brain processing. So we talked about these mindset shifts, and I talked about altering brain functioning. Here's some of the reasons that they do that. They have multiple properties that actually affects our physiology. So they affect our immune response and inflammation, which can assist with calming down inflammation in the nervous system. They help with digestion, the microbiome, and microbial balance. So it supports the gut-brain axis, this communication between the gut and the brain. And we know we make a lot of neurotransmitters in our gut. They can help with cellular and neuron protection. So they can actually act as neuroprotective agents. They help balance our hormones and neurotransmitters. They impact our mood and energy by how they can impact our blood sugar through indirect, and then some actually have direct effects on blood sugar, like cinnamon, the cinnamon aldehyde in that essential oil. They impact our stress response and our vagal tone. They impact our neurocognition as well. So this synergy of compounds support this mind-body balance. So it helps us shift our perspective because our physiology has changed from this state of a reactive nervous system to one that's more open and one that has more upliftment in the mood. Now, if we want to dive a little bit deeper into this, if we look at the specific neurophysiology of essential oils, we think about essential oils and we think about one drop of essential oil. Well, in that one drop are hundreds of different of compounds, and each of those hundreds of compounds, each single one actually has multiple effects. So you can imagine the many effects of just one drop of essential oil because there's hundreds of compounds that have multiple effects in that drop. So, for example, one constituent named pinene, which is found in many essential oils, has anti-anxiety effects, anti-seizure effects, neuroprotective and gastroprotective, so supporting the nervous system and gut health, and cytoprotective or cellular health supporting actions. And again, this is just one compound that's found in frankincense and pine oil and many others. I actually have a list of the neurophysiology actions of different constituents of essential oils from a scientific journal article that if you want to go into the resource section, you can access and kind of look at that chart. And it gives you an appreciation for all of the different ways that essential oils work and why we say one oil can do so many different things. And what about their impact on the nervous system? So we talked about like pinene also having neuroprotective actions and all these different compounds, but they also impact our neurophysiology and have these neuropharmacological effects because of how they enter our blood circulation and our olfactory system. And the paper, a 2023 systematic review sought to explore the impacts of essential oils on our nervous system, and they found clinical studies showing that aromatherapy could improve sleep, relieve preoperative anxiety and postoperative nausea and vomiting, relieve gynecological disease pain, and play a role in hospice care. And the neuropharmacological effects related to this was that the authors said that essential oils are neurotrophic. So that means they enhance cognition. They help with sleep improvement. They have anti-dementia. So that, again, it's enhancing cognition properties. They help with anxiety and depression. They can be pain relieving and help actually relieve seizures. So this emphasized the importance of essential oils in central nervous system disorders and clinical applications, according to the systematic review. How do they accomplish these multiple pharmacological effects is, again, how they enter the bloodstream in the brain. So their blood route as essential oils is based on the fact that they can pass through the physiological barriers. This is in any mucosa, like respiratory mucosa, gut mucosa, in your skin, and even in the blood-brain barrier. And it's because they have less polarity than these barriers, and that allows them to enter through these barriers and exert their neuropharmacological effects, whether it be in the brain or traveling in the bloodstream. As far as in the nervous system itself, we think about the olfactory epithelium, and this is where they bind to different receptors, including the olfactory sensor neurons. These create these potential signals, and it transmits through the olfactory nerves into the olfactory bulb where it synapses, and eventually it's transmitted through the olfactory cortex and the corresponding regions of the brain, finally into the limbic system. And that's the emotional control center. And this includes the amygdala, the hypothalamus, and the hippocampus. And all of these brain regions have very important impacts on our memory, on our emotions, and on regulating our hormonal as well as neurotransmitter production. So as you can see, there's some deep science in how essential oils, just their biochemical properties alone, and then their aromatic properties influence our brain health and change our neurophysiology. So now that we know how essential oils influence our brain and neurophysiology in more detail, hopefully not too much, I want to review one of my favorite combinations that can be used to shift this mindset and also affect our brain and emotions through all of these different properties we suggested. So we talked about last time how a combination of citrus, spice, fir, and resin essential oils can support our physical health and help us feel more uplifted, alert, and abundant. And now I want to talk about this gratitude blend that can help soothe our mind, ease tension, and promote a refreshing and alert state. So the first oils I always think about are frankincense and myrrh because they're sacred oils and they've been used in religious and spiritual traditions for centuries to get closer to a higher vibrational state. And these essential oils contain compounds called sesquiterpenes, which means they consist of 3 isoprene units, which is just a fancy term of carbon hydrogen bonding. And these molecules have calming properties. They can act as antioxidants. They offer immune support. They assist in cellular repair. There's a constituent alanine found in myrrh oil and other oils, even turmeric oil, that has been found to cross the blood-brain barrier and be specific for different neurological health issues. Fir and spruce, we think about, so we have these holy sesquiterpene oils, then I think about tree oils or conifer oils, and that's because these oils contain these phytonosides, which are compounds that can enhance well-being, decrease stress, and support our immune system. And they're very grounding when we think about when we get into the woods, and maybe you've heard of forest bathing, where people actually relieve their stress by going out into the forest. Some of the reason that the forests are so calming is related to the release of these phytonosides from the trees. And those can be found in conifer and as well as tree oils. So we got frankincense and myrrh, some fir and spruce oils maybe. Bergamot I love because this has many clinical studies for supporting the effect on the mood and calming down any anxious thoughts and just calming our physiology. Coriander is one that many people don't think about, but it actually has a lot of different properties. It's calming, similar to something like a lavender. It's also antimicrobial, antioxidant. It helps lower blood sugar. It helps lower lipids. It can be analgesic, some of the compounds, meaning pain relieving. There's compounds that are anti-inflammatory, supporting nervous system balance, and also being cellular protective. And that's a kind of an overlooked kind of gut brain calming essential oil is coriander. Ylang ylang is another go-to for me because that's actually known to support vagal tone and to balance the nervous system and keep blood pressure in a healthy range. So we have the heart coherence as well. Vetiver has been shown to be both calming and refreshing and helping with alertness at the same time in a clinical study. And then geranium is a harmonizing floral scent. So it's been associated with decreasing tension, balancing hormones, and enhancing a state of peacefulness. So if we summarize, essential oils can help us shift our perspective because they impact emotional healing, they calm our stress, they help our brain function better, and they enhance mind-heart coherence. They also aid our brain and physiological health and support our neurophysiology to alter our mood, biochemistry, and nervous system. We talked about a mixture of conifer trees, blend oils, ylang ylang, coriander, bergamot, geranium, and then the holy oils of frankincense and myrrh to create a synergy of scents to permeate our spirit and to help us uplift our mood and experience more gratitude. So, that being said, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that maybe you will experiment with some of these essential oils to see how they impact your mood and can help shift your perspective. Or maybe you have a favorite gratitude blend from your favorite essential oil manufacturer that you can start using around this time of year. We know the various effects of feeling that sense of gratitude. There's science that gratitude actually helps our emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. So this will be very helpful in a time where we're coming up to the holidays, which can be, again, have a mixed bag of happiness with also some stress. If you like what you have heard, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also to my newsletter. I offer additional information that isn't necessarily found on social media or even on my webpage to my email subscribers. And also check out some of the free resources. And stay tuned because I'm going to have some upcoming programs for maybe people that want to work together in a group on how to continually support our brain health for a better life, right? Because our brain controls everything in our world. And when we support our brain, we can also support our heart and be more on purpose because our brain drives all of our actions and behaviors. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you many blessings.